that created the vision that ultimately brought us all today. Tom Werner knew the Red Sox could help men and women who have done so much for us and to keep us safe. So to say a few words, please welcome the chairman of the Red Sox, the creator of the home base program, Tom Werner.
The home of your first place Boston Red Sox. We say that last year. A lot of special moments have taken place here these past 100 years, and a lot of special people have crossed home plate. This day is special too, as you are all participating in the 4th run walk to home base, and you will be touching the same home plate that welcomed Ruth and Williams, Yastrzemski and Ortiz. That's it. I may not say this as eloquently as David Ortiz, but this is our town. Your participation today in support of the home base program is the best demonstration of freedom and gratitude that we can show our brave men and women who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Our service members have sacrificed so much that we can be safe here at home. 2.5 million men and women have served us in Iraq and Afghanistan. And more than 1 in 3 come home suffering from post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. Even more disturbing, the suicide rate among veterans is so high that last year, almost once an hour, a military veteran committed suicide. Today's run is even more meaningful as we are thinking about last month's marathon and the violence that followed. This morning's run is the first in our city since Patriots Day. We have mourned for the victims, and we've come together as a community to support those who have been affected by the bombings. And these include the many who have been dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, the same condition that has affected our wounded warriors. The home base chief medical officer, Dr. Naomi Simon, Dr. Paula Rausch, who heads up our family counseling at home base, Dr. Ross Stefan, are one of the many of our doctors who have been called to serve after the bombings. And we have also been thinking since Patriots Day about those who work tirelessly to make us safe again. They remind us what American heroes look like. And let us remember this morning that the heroics that we witnessed on the streets of Boston are acted out every day, halfway across the world. Every day, our military members run through danger, and they do it because they've heard the call to serve, and they have answered. On behalf of John Henry, Larry Lucchino, who's racing with me today, and everyone at the Red Sox and Massachusetts General Hospital, I want to thank you for your support. Thanks to the commitment of people like you all over Red Sox Nation, we have raised for this program, for these runs, over $10 million. Thank you also to Dr. Peter Slavin and the folks at MGH for their amazing work. Thank you to our sponsors, especially New Balance. Rob, your support means so much to us, and we appreciate your taking the time to be here this morning. Thanks also to all the military here today, in particular General John Kelly, Commander of the U.S. Southern Command, who has made so many sacrifices of his own. And thank you to the British Defense Attaché to the U.S., Major General Buster Howes, for joining us. And finally, thanks to Congressman Kennedy for being here today. Your uncle's commitment to this program helped make it possible. runners who are doing their part to remember and thank those who answered the call overseas. And I'd like to share with you just one story about someone who's here today. Former Sergeant First Class Robert Doyle, a 14-year Army veteran who served in Iraq. He was a mission commander who drove up-armored 10-ton trucks on combat patrols over hostile roads in support of Operation Iraq Freedom. In 2007, Sergeant Doyle and his fellow soldiers were surprised by an IED. He survived the blast, but several of his friends were seriously injured and some lost limbs. For his sacrifices and his service to his country, Sergeant Doyle was awarded the Bronze Star. But when he came home 2 years later, nothing was the same. His marriage was over, he was nearly bankrupt, he was homeless and living out of his car. He was at rock bottom, plagued by nightmares. A veteran advocate suggested that Sergeant Doyle try home base, and he summoned the courage to make the call. And once at home base, his doctors diagnosed him with post-traumatic stress and started working with him right away. Therapy was challenging. As Sergeant Doyle said, you have to relive horrible to get over horrible. But he started getting a better handle on his life. He began his own business, snow plowing and welding, and now he has several government contracts, and now he's able to employ other veterans. Furthermore, this month I'm pleased to say, after years of therapy and hard work, formerly homeless Sergeant Doyle was able to buy his first house in Charlton, Massachusetts. Sergeant Doyle. So please call him this afternoon. Sergeant, you demonstrated that courage comes in all sizes, on the front lines, and it also takes courage to seek for help when you find yourself at a difficult crossroads. At the Red Sox, we know it takes a team of people to put a win on the board. When a player hits a slump, he's got trainers and coaches, so no one here has to do it alone. No one should have to do it alone. And today it's our chance to be Boston strong. Last year I asked you to join me in a moment of silence, a moment to honor the losses and thank those who have given so much. Today I ask you to join us in celebrating 12 heroes who have served their country overseas and helped take care of the victims in the moments just after the Boston Marathon bombings. These brave men and women were on site at the marathon and immediately jumped into action to help the victims and secure the safety of those around them. Please join me and General Kelly, Hammond, and Rice as we recognize their actions. I'm now asking retired Brigadier General Jack Hammond, the Executive Director of Home Base, to tell us the tradition of the military coin that we will hand to these 12 first responders.